Going live. Okay, we're live. So, can we have a motion to adopt the agenda?
So
Second.
Second, all those in favor? Aye, motion carries. Okay, and I guess we should have removed, well, we'll just skip over that. Okay, the minutes from the Board Finance Committee. Can we have a motion to approve those minutes from March 27th?
let's see.
Oh, they were in the book.
Yes. So we have a motion to approve those?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, review of financials.
Actually, if we could do the.
I'm sorry,
yeah,
Henry,
yeah,
what are
Capital
you?
first.
Capital outlay.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Welcome. Chairman, members of the Board Financial Committee. Thank you for allowing us to present our capital outlay request to you this evening. This is the request that we will be providing to the state. And by statute, we're supposed to submit to the state on June 1st. And the hearing for Santa Fe Community College will be July 29th. And this year it's going to be at Northern Municipal College, and it's going to be from 1 to 3:30. So what I will be presenting to you this evening is essentially the same materials that I will be submitting to the state for our annual summer hearings request, capital outlay request. So hopefully you have the submittals in your notebooks. These are state template documents, so quite frankly, we are literally filling in their blanks. I won't go through all of the capital planning, which included the space verification form, the completed capital projects, the active projects, what we call instructional square footage, and the 5-year plan, because you have those at your discretion and they're very, very detailed. But the capital projects, priority 1 and priority 2 that I will go over with you are fairly straightforward. And then we'll include all that information.
We haven't submitted these before.
Yeah, we submit these every year.
No.
Oh.
This amount.
No.
No.
Okay.
But what we do and the way this works is these plans are in concert with the infrastructure capital improvement plan that's identified and administered by DFA. And it's also in concert with the capital project management plan that's submitted by the LFC.
Mhm.
So all of our plans are in concert. And so whenever we submit to higher ed for our annual requests, they typically don't give us the full request. They only give us partial. So whatever didn't get funded, we bring up. And whatever didn't get funded the next year, we bring up. So these are projects that were submitted but didn't get funded.
Okay, that's what
Okay.
I thought. We had already submitted. them.
Yeah, but they didn't get funded.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll
And are
start.
they gonna get funded this time?
We'll get a partial funding probably, just like usual. That's why we always ask for a little more than we're expecting, because we hope to get the full project funded rather than just part of the project funded.
Okay.
So with regards to the priority 1, we are asking for $6 million. The total funding request from the state is 4.5 million. And the college is going to match 1.5 million, which we will use our local general obligation as a match, and that's a 25% match. The projects that we're asking to get included are our aging utility, energy upgrades, our energy performance contract, which would be a contract that would be part of our IGA. Once we complete the IGA, this would be funding to help finance that IGA.
What is the IGA?
Is the investment grade audit that we're doing with Siemens right now.
Right, okay,
You'll all be hearing the 90% completion on that coming probably next board meeting.
okay.
And any of the LED upgrades that we're gonna make on campus, some of our microgrid equipment that we'll need. It'll include our emergency and fire requirements, some of our learning space upgrades. It'll include our exterior upgrades, our stucco, our sidewalks, and some of our fencing. And ultimately our building up envelope upgrades, which are a lot of our stuccoing on our exterior walls and our parapet repairs.
Did we ever fix the parking lot?
There's, in our local general obligation bond, second draw, there's money there.
Okay.
And then also in our 2018 GOB, there's $1 million there.
Okay.
So we will have some money to do our parking lots, yeah. These projects are slated to start July 2020 and be completed July 2023. That's a narrative description of the projects. As I just described the title, it includes all of those attributes. The state is asking us to, next time we submit a capital request, they would like to see a facility condition index. So we don't have a facility condition index. That's probably a $150,000 endeavor whenever we pursue that.
And do they want to pay for that for us?
No, but what we're going to
Madam Chair, I do think that HED did get an appropriation to do that. Now, how they utilize it, we don't know, and it wasn't that large, but there
Yeah.
was some money.
Yeah, you're correct. And I asked them the last hearing if we could submit, not the hearing, but the training at HED in Albuquerque, if we could submit for requests, and they said no, that was their money for administration. So they're not gonna give any money of that, any of that out. I'm recommending that the next time we do a master plan, if you all recall, we did our master plan 2017 through 2021. We need to start looking at this next year for 2022 through 2026, excuse me. And I'm recommending when we do the next master plan, we do a facility condition index with it. The rationale is predominantly because our infrastructure is old and antiquated, and we need to keep that infrastructure up. There's quite a bit of infrastructure that, as you know, we've been maintaining, but we can't do it all at once. So we try and do a little bit at a time, and that's the purpose of this request. It's going to resolve any of our health and safety issues. This is going to include funding for the Southeast Connector as well, which
Where?
in this request, I have the language to include Southeast Connector. The ranch
Oh, there
lands
it
is
is, yeah.
is getting ready to put 250 apartments just north of us. And we may be at some point in time obligated to contribute to the extension of that road, College Drive. And this could be money that we could use to do that if we were obligated to do
This is
that.
the most cost-effective route.
Yes,
You know, we're connecting rather than the one that
Yeah.
one man wants. So
and we would use that road
College
because
Drive.
our students would come down the new connector. So here they would come down the new connector and come over through College Drive to get on campus rather than get bottlenecked on Richards Drive. And we would use it as an exit so we could get closer to the St. Francis Interstate on that rather than have to go through all this combobble to get to Cerritos Road and eventually to the freeway. So anyway, this project does include funding for that.
Have you gotten an update from the county about the
I have not,
connector?
I have not.
Since what, they came in January, did they?
Yes, and they told us it's in design,
Right.
but
Well, they told us they were gonna give us an update too.
Yeah.
like,
Yes.
Or
Almost
now.
6 months. Did they say
And-
before me?
And they haven't, and we asked, well, we, Mr. Our county commissioner,
Moreno.
Moreno.
Ed Moreno.
he hasn't been able to get them to give us an update yet. But we need an update.
Took us about 2-3 months to get them to, I
Yes,
mean, to find a date that would work, so we should start working on that again.
yeah,
Mhm.
because we need to start planning that, and I'm sure we're gonna have to get an independent consultant to get the community to agree where we put that road, because we'll just need a community involvement in that decision.
Is that for us or the
Because, yeah, is that
county?
our part of the, is our,
Well, the county is gonna be putting the connector, but we gotta get from here to the connector.
Okay.
And that,
the connector is just gonna be on the edge of our property.
right, so
isn't it?
we're probably talking about a 300 to 500 foot road that we have to extend College Drive. Because it stops just short of the fitness center now, but it would go past the whale all the way to the connector if we extend it.
And that would cost how much? That little?
If we were to do the road and split it, which I'm not suggesting we have to do that, but that's what
Who would we split it with?
Rancho.
Ranch Lands, because we both own the
Because we
road.
would be going through their property.
Well, we both own the road down the center. It's 50-50. We own that road.
Okay.
It would be about 700,000, and they
Each.
would have to pay 700,000,
Oh.
about $1.5 million. If we do a road midway in our campus, which I'm not
We'd have to
recommending,
pay for ourselves.
and it'd be way more expensive, it'd probably be about 3 million, because there is no existing. And it's
You don't
through an
want that.
arroyo, it's just much.
You don't want that. That's what that gentleman, Tom or. whatever,
Yeah, from College Heights, that's what he wants, because he doesn't want the road near the College
Fine, you
Heights,
can pay
but
for it.
yeah,
We should make sure though that we know who actually owns that road. Like, if we could get some sort of,
Which
plan-
road?
plan,
The existing,
the one that we would be doing 50-50 with ranch lands. So what is that? Is that College Drive?
It would be extension of College Drive.
We should.
Then who
we
owns
should-
it,
we
right? I
should
think
look
that's.
at-
Right now, we
Because
own,
here's the issue is if we don't in fact own that road and we
Spend the money.
maintain it with public dollars.
oh, yeah.
That's an anti-donation clause violation.
The road that's existing from Richards to the turn off to the fitness center, the property line is down the middle, and we own the south half and Ranchlands owns, or Rancho Viejo owns the north half. But I don't know what would happen beyond that point. That's where we would need an independent consultant to tell us.
But that would be on our plaque, wouldn't it?
Yes, and it is.
Seems to me that there would be an easement on that road of some sort.
And that's why the city doesn't maintain that, or the county, because it's our road. Although they do maintain it for us, but they're not obligated to.
What part, what?
They do clear the snow on that road occasionally for us, but they don't patch it or anything like that. The statistics from the college graduation graduates and our 5-year history of full-time equivalents is on that page, and that'll get that from Open. You're all familiar with those numbers. The next page is our master plan.
But wait, what's this green screen?
Well, that means that anything we do will meet the governor's directive
Oh.
of 50% better on energy efficiency.
Oh, okay.
And anything we do would be.
We've been doing that before.
Yes, we always, anything we change in the campus, whether we upgrade our HVAC system, add a new boiler or chiller, that equipment has to be 50% more efficient than the equipment that we're putting. I mean, obviously, we wouldn't replace it if we couldn't do that.
At some point, we wouldn't be able, I mean, at some point, don't we reach?
Well, if it's new
Efficiency.
equipment, then that's why we don't need to
Oh.
replace it. It's only the antiquated equipment that is costing us a lot of money to run. When we replace that, it's always going to be 50% more efficient with the new. And like the equipment that we replace with our IGA, that equipment is 99% efficient, where our equipment that we have on the campus now is probably 35 to 40% efficient because it's so old.
Hmm.
The next page is the copy of the insert from our master plan that shows these are a priority of our master plan, so they come directly from our master
What
plan.
page number is that? Yeah.
It's not, it's
I
not,
think it's after-
it's after the, it's after that one there.
It's kind of like this.
Oh, you have the master plan after that one?
We have priority 2. That's good.
Oh, okay, perhaps you didn't
Maybe
get
we
this.
don't have that.
You might not
Okay.
get this. Anyway, maybe I added this on, but this is what I'll be giving the state. This is an excerpt from our master plan that shows these are our priorities. And here's our campus map. We have to submit that to the state, and that will be in there.
Does that show where we're building the automotive?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, can we see?
This one, yeah, you can see, this is just an existing campus map. This is before the automotive.
We want
Okay,
to see.
where's the
We wanna see
automotive?
the automotive.
This one doesn't show the automotive either. I don't have a plan that shows the automotive.
Can you
Okay,
point it
show-
out where
yeah.
it is?
Yes,
Point it out where it
hold
is.
on, because I
Just
think
draw
I
it on there.
think I do have,
Yeah, it's supposed to
Right down
be
from the fitness center.
Fitness.
Yeah, right
center.
down there under parking, like right here, right there. That's where it's gonna be.
Yeah, right next to, I think,
Here?
the trades and tech.
Oh, right here.
Yeah, so-
Right there.
By the
So-
lagoon.
It'd be right here.
Yes.
yeah, so here's the, yeah, fitness center parking lot. There's a big mound right here. The automotive facility will be right here.
Where's the lagoon?
The lagoons are over here. And over here.
And
Actually, a
the-
little further, they're over here. And we are going to
Okay.
add some additional parking right here. So actually, this is kind of,
This is the greenhouse?
this is the greenhouse. We're gonna add a parking lot here, That's the building and parking lot
And
here.
where are the solar panels?
Solar panels are right here. And the wastewater treatment plant is down here, and there's kids campus.
And what are those lagoons for?
The lagoons are our treated water,
Treated water.
and that's how we irrigate the campus.
Let me show this to Kathy.
Yeah, here's the ponds. This one was probably a little better. There's the ponds. This
So it's
is-
parking
this
here,
is-
That's what I
parking
thought, the
here,
pond's right there.
Yeah, these are going right, this is going
and parking here.
just right here, actually.
Oh,
Right around the building is more, some
pond
visitor parking,
stays.
but
The
some
pond stays.
where
right
the
now,
autos
we
that are gonna be
transition over
repaired
to our
Uh-huh.
are gonna be
Then we'll
parked.
park for this for
Uh-huh.
city water and use them in irrigation.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
So when you give this to them, are you gonna put that on there?
I have another map that's.
It
that
does have it
has
on
that on
there?
there, yeah. In fact, I even show pieces of the new renderings of the automotive facility.
Oh,
Oh,
It's in the bigger presentation that I give,
okay,
but it's not part of the capital plan because I'm not
right, okay,
requesting anything for it.
okay.
I'm gonna show them where our microgrid is and what we have attributes to our microgrid, because I am asking them for additional funding if we need to support our microgrid. And these are all the assets that the college has with regards to our microgrid. Which
So
is
what
quite
do those
extensive.
lines mean?
So for example, we have biomass boilers, we have a photovoltaic PV array, we have a solar thermal system, we have anaerobic digesters, we have biodiesel lab, we have our microgrid management system, we have a controller now, we have natural gas on campus, we have a culinary garden, we have aquaponic greenhouses, we have a farm pod that we have over at the TATC facility, we have an algae cultivated test bed, we have a reclaimed water, those are those two ponds. We have switchgear now for our microgrid management, and we have a spirulina micro farm that's over here, if you recall, the greenhouse is over here. So these are all our, if you will,
Wow,
green technology buildings.
that's
And
impressive.
those are all managed by fiscal plan, and we're gonna couple those to our microgrid.
So Henry, how does the culinary garden fit into the micro?
So we have a culinary garden that are outside gardens that are used in the summertime for produce for the West Wing eatery, for the
Right.
students' culinary. But we have a controlled environment greenhouse, and that is a nanogrid. That's gonna have a battery and switchgear, and that,
Okay.
and that will be, if you will, it's one distributed energy source of a multiple distributed energy source when we put the whole campus on a microgrid.
And that'll be soon.
And that's coming. And I have all of our distributed energy mapped out on a map, so when we go forward with a microgrid, we're gonna know exactly where we're doing in terms of providing all the distributed energy sources into one. And we also have a roofing plan, so we know which roofs we're going to upgrade with regards to warranties. We never want to let a warranty go out because then we have to re-roof. When we fix a roof under warranty, we're supplementing the roof. We just add more roof onto it. If it goes out of warranty, then they could physically have to tear the roof off and replace it, and we don't want to do that.
Oh,
And then we also
so
have
those roofs that have,
dotted line are the ones we want to do next.
that we're actually going to, with
Upgrade.
this money.
Yes, yes. And then we have a parking lot master plan, the same thing. We show them which parking lots we want to upgrade. And the ones we want to upgrade are the main parking lot, the parking lot at the fitness center, and this little parking lot back here. So those are the ones we want to resurface. And that's what we're asking for funding to do.
At what point do you think that we would want to add more solar photovoltaic to the college? And how would that help us?
So we studied that in the IGA, and essentially we don't need any more photovoltaics. What we need is a battery.
oh.
Because once we have a battery, then we'll be using the photovoltaics can literally supply the power to the college during the day. But what we don't have sufficient energy for is the early morning and late evening and night. And so once we get the battery, we'll be in good shape. And if we have a 3-day, failure of sunshine, we'll have a natural gas generator to recharge the batteries.
So we shouldn't have any electric bill?
It should, not when we get the microgrid, it should be very minimal,
Wow.
very minimal.
Cause isn't it a few $100,000 even now?
It's still in the 400,000 range, yes. I won't say we won't have any bill, but we'll
But-
be able to tweak what energy
We'll-
source we use, because we still have natural
We'll
gas.
learn about that in maybe the June meeting, because we've completed the 90% evaluation.
Yeah.
The way the financing works with getting the new equipment, the new boilers and HVACs and all of that equipment and capital infrastructure is basically with the bill that we're paying right now at the college
To PNM.
to PNM.
Okay.
Yeah. We do financing basically through bonding. And we keep our we keep our, essentially our debt service payment at the same amount that we're paying right now. But the use of energy goes down with the new equipment.
Mhm.
And with that money in between that's how we're financing all the new equipment.
And so that savings goes and pays the bond.
So our bill won't necessarily go down, but
Our bill will go down, but we'll be paying somebody else.
Yeah.
with it.
Yes.
and it's advantageous because essentially we're going to keep our energy consumption sort of stable, you know, and we're going to be able to get all of these assets that use less energy and are ultimately what we would have to replace in the future on our own with large amounts of capital, capital expenses. And so
Will be done through the savings instead.
basically your bill will stay the same. You get the savings and then you finance the.
And what's our payout for the fine?
But the bill should only be for 15 years. So theoretically, at the end of 15 years,
Payout.
then you don't have to pay a bill.
Yeah.
I
But
mean,
you
then
have
Oh, but then your equipment will be antiquated.
Some of
Well,
that,
we're 35-year-old
that-
equipment now.
yeah, some of that equipment's good for 20 years, maybe a little bit.
You'll be
longer.
replacing some of it gradually. So, and you'll be upgrading the batteries in 10 years. So it'll be interesting, but we'll definitely be reducing our energy costs. So that's priority one. That's predominantly the 6 million with the 4.5 million request from the state because 1.5 is matching. And then priority two is really primarily learning spaces. It's the same scenario, but instead of doing infrastructure, we'd be improving our learning spaces to include the woodworking area, the Hemis rooms. We would either renovate or revise what we use the planetarium for. And we'd also be doing some exterior stucco and sidewalk and wall building envelope upgrades.
What is this IT improvement?
And we would do some additional IT improvements.
If they give us.
If they give us-
Right, right.
They'll
They
probably,
don't tend to like to do a lot of
ITs.
IT stuff.
so they'll probably
State
give us
law.
priority one and of the 6 million, they give us maybe 2 to 3.
Mhm, like we usually
Yeah.
get. And
But if
that'll
I-
be it.
And that'll be it. But that's better than the 4 to 5 we used to, 400,000 to 500,000
Yeah.
we were getting
Yeah.
in the past.
And if we get funding for them, I think that they particularly like to fund projects such as roofing, because they know that.
Yeah.
That's constant upkeep you have to continue to do in order to avoid major problems that you're gonna ask the state for in the
Mhm.
future.
Protects
So-
our assets.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so roofing,
Parking lots. They'll want us to get our boilers
boilers.
and our chillers out of the IGA.
Okay.
What's the IGA?
Investment grade audit, the one that we're conducting now with Siemens. And that's about 90%. We'll be coming to you all in June on that. And once we get 90% approval, we'll look to submit it to the state. And then we'll go for a power purchase agreement where we'll have vendors bid on that financing. Where that is.
Okay.
All right. Thank you all.
Else? Any other questions?
A quick question about kind of any new building plans. So the automotive center as an example, how does that get on the master plan? So if we have projects like that that come up with needs from communities, but our master plan is 5 years long, does it take 5 years for us to develop a facility? Or do we have the ability to do something that is outside of the master plan?
So this master plan didn't include the automotive facility, right? But when we upgrade the master plan in 2021,
Well,
it will include the automotive facility. When
Which
we-
will already be done.
Right, but when we submitted this project request to the state, there's a page, and not, this is the hearings, but the actual capital projects, when we submit, there's multiple submittals to the state. So once we get this approved from the state, every project that I just defined in here, I still have to submit to the state for approval to give us the capital project funding. This is the summer hearing, the big picture, then the individual projects I have to submit for capital project approval. So when we got approval. with
But
the-
only if we get the money.
Right, only if we get the
Yeah,
money.
yeah.
When we went with Dr. Cervantes in April to get the ATC, the Automotive Technology Center approved, in those capital project forms, there's a request in there for additional funding to operate that building. So the state should theoretically increase our operating budget to operate that facility because they approved the project,
Uh-huh.
but that
Does
remains,
LFC know that?
that remains to be seen. But I mean, we could always ask them, you know, and they typically give us $3.35 a square foot for operating that building. So we should see that in our next operating budget.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
That's it. Thank you.
yes, thank you all.
On the other hand, we should also see increased student enrollment, right?
Yes,
Right.
yes.
We have a waiting list, right?
Yes, I understand we have a waiting list and we had some graduates. who took
Yes.
classes in the automotive.
One gentleman who had 7 certificates.
Yes, yeah.
Oh,
I
wow.
wanted to get his contact info because he had.
Work on your car.
Amazing.
And we have dealers ready to hire them.
Wow.
Absolutely.
So can you talk about that little renovation at the fitness center for the gender neutral area?
Yeah,
Do you
it's,
have any update on that?
I don't have any updates because theoretically where there's two minor obstacles. One is the fitness center staff and faculty have that low on their priority list. They feel they have other items that need to be upgraded before that. That's one comment. The other comment is we are pursuing an estimate, so I will
Getting an
we'll look at that.
And my
And-
comment on the first one is that a group of people have said we are not accommodating their needs.
Absolutely. And I have brought it up, but we have to repeat it a few times so it sinks in.
Now, we did look at, Madam Chair, we looked at
Oh,
the,
we looked at the act.
law that was passed
Yes,
and how that would kind of come.
I'm
into play.
familiar.
Okay.
I worked on that.
And essentially,
Pass it.
we meet the laws that exist at the fitness center.
We meet the law in relationship to gender neutral bathrooms.
Correct. But if you build another restroom, and it has to be a single bathroom or family use, and it has to be labeled gender neutral. And if you read number 1 on there, it's on the back side. Read number 1 on there. It states that the bathroom can be used by all. It can't be just used by one.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other than that, we could build it on our own accord. We're not against the rule. We're just building our own bathroom.
Yeah, it's not gonna say transgender or.
Right.
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 Or they're the only
Stay
ones
out.
that can use it.
Right.
Mhm. If it's
Otherwise,
available, they
we
can
could,
go
we
in.
could pursue that on our own accord. We're pursuing an estimate, but we also have to get the faculty and
Talk to
students.
them
on
some more.
board.
We'll talk some more.
Yeah.
We talked briefly about it at the LBAC meeting. We're gonna have
Yes.
another meeting
Yes,
coming up before I
We will.
leave, and then we'll enforce it again.
but I'm estimating somewhere between 30 and 50K.
Oh, now it's 30 and 50. Last time I thought it was 30.
Well, I mean, it depends.
Depends on what we do.
Depends on what we do.
Yeah.
This now makes it a single-use bathroom, so we're gonna have to do a little more than we thought.
It does also say that nothing in the section shall be construed to require construction
Right.
of a new single-user toilet
Yes.
facility if one does not exist in a public.
That's why I say we'd be doing it on our
It's
own
just
accord.
if you build one after July 1, 2019, then you build it in accordance with
With this,
these
Right.
guidelines.
Oh, if you.
right, right.
We're gonna be doing renovation, right? too.
Yeah, yeah, we're gonna be doing upgrade as well. So I just,
Okay.
we're working on, although I will tell you that my staff is inundated with projects. I mean, it's beyond,
And maintenance on the existing bathrooms in that center is
in need of dire straits. Yes,
is a common complaint.
yes, we really need to redo those showers. We need to redo,
And that's
lot.
high on the list of priorities,
yes,
correct?
What
that's,
about those, this is the complaint I hear a lot, is that for disabled people, I don't know if it's true in the men's bathroom, are little bitty benches
inside those showers.
and inside, no, by the locker areas.
Hmm.
I mean, who can sit
Oh,
on
those
those?
ones that you fold down?
I guess, or, no, there's a whole like,
Yeah,
well, there are a row of benches along by the lockers, and then on the end, there are the ones that pull down, is that?
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Oh, we can look at those benches. That's
Just
a
make it a
minor,
little wider.
that's a minor expense. We're talking about resurfacing the shower floors.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
gonna be very
Yeah.
expensive. But we do have porous showers and it's leaking through our basement.
Oh,
So it's a slight problem.
So we have that funding planned in the.
That
second
funding's
draw.
planned in phase two of the second draw of the LGOB. Remember, we did phase one upgrades to the fitness center? Now we're gonna do phase two.
You have the grant.
Plus an air handler and other stuff, and the new backup energy system, our batteries are new. But anyway, that's the phase two draw.
okay.
Thank you all.
All right, thank you.
I'm gonna disappear.
Oh, here's the bill back.
Oh, okay.
Okay, now we're gonna do the financials.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna have to leave in a few minutes because I'm supposed to carry the mace in for the
Oh, okay.
graduation.
But what time does it start?
Well, 5:30 and then have to get
Yeah,
over there.
right, right.
So,
We can get through this.
It's
pretty
in the
quick.
gym then?
yes.
Okay. Is it like a big crowd?
I don't know, a lot of people come.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what do you want me to do when I get over there?
What time are you gonna get over there?
Well, I'll come
Before-
over so I'm there by 5:30.
Okay, then we'll get you toward the front. I'll
Okay.
look for you. And
Okay.
are you gonna come?
It depends on when we finish.
Okay,
I don't know, should we drive or walk?
I can drive.
I was gonna drive just because I'm gonna have to come back.
So since we're short on time.
Okay, what are
Madam
we,
Chair,
what section are we on? E,
E20. E1A. E1A. E1A, you have to get a,
oh,
Do you know?
they
how-
didn't put them in the books.
oh,
Here,
She needs a,
oh,
right here.
oh, okay. Okay, got it. Okay,
So, if you want, I can do the, real high level,
high level, and we can ask
because-
questions at the board meeting.
yes, and we've been through financials the last few months, more than you probably want to talk about. So at the end of, April, on April 30th,
Look at all that.
2019, we had a total operating bank cash balance of 8.5 million compared to 5.7 in the prior year. That's a year-to-year cash improvement of 2.8 million. As you're well aware of, tuition and fees are down, have been down most of the year, down 8%, and they're down by about $624,000. Local appropriation revenue, that's mill levy funding, is at 13.8 million and is up 11%. Right now in, I think, the 10th of May, second half property tax bills went out, so we're going to be closely watching that because of our new increase of the mill levy for this year. State appropriations revenue totals 8.4 million. That's a 5% increase, and that's up about $400,000. ING revenues in total are up approximately $1 million. That's up 4%, and totaling out 29.1 million. On the expense side, expenses are down by 216,000. That's 1%, and total out to be right around 27 million for this year. ING compensation is down 2%, and it's down by about 408,000 for a total of 20.3 million in salaries and benefits. And if you look at supplies, expense, equipment, and utilities in ING, they're up about $192,000 compared to last year. We're about 83% of the year complete, and we've received about 92% of. Let's see.
Your projected revenue?
Yeah, well, actually, we're 83% of the year complete, and we've received 83% of our total revenue, so we're, tracking pretty closely. Last year, we had received at the same time about 80%, so that's up a little bit. That's really the summary. If you want to take a look at public service, it's actually pretty exciting to me. When you look at the kids' campus financial situation, they're
Yeah.
actually up $84,000.
Wow.
And that's,
And that's the grants?
grants, lots of grants that we're,
Mhm.
that Jennifer Salee, Dr.
Brought in.
Salee has brought in and working with the foundation to really get those financials in order. And so that's really helping out our public service. So with that in total, if you look at all three areas of public service, we have net profit of about $160,000, which is really
Don't they need some staffing, additional staffing at the kids campus?
yes.
And
Yeah.
so that may take away some of this.
Because the grants, that's what the grants are
Right,
for.
right.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think they're hiring. In fact, I think as of today, they've made an offer and acceptance for the state director.
Yes.
And remember, we're getting
Yes.
next fiscal year, we're getting RPSP money,
Mhm.
150,000,
150, yeah.
and it will be for that position.
Uh-huh.
And
So
then an assistant director also. They're gonna-
while we bring that on, we'll have the new revenues to match up with that. So, yeah. We do need to have Dr. Salee come in and
Right,
an
give us
update.
an update.
There's a lot going on.
And under that public service, from the higher education center, the expenditures there are quite a bit less than we had budgeted. Is there a particular reason for that? We budgeted about 201,000 and the expenditures are 135.
Come to them.
But I guess, well, that's only 83%.
Entrance, left entrance to
Yeah.
the gym.
So it'll
If
go,
I'm
It'll go
looking at
up.
the
it'll go up a
gym,
little.
Left.
on the
Yeah.
left.
That's
it'll
what-
go up. We still have
that's the old-
May and June to get through. So that will probably exceed the expenditures there. Will probably look more like the budget from the original FY19. Next time we meet, we'll have the bars included in here. And so you'll be able to see what we've done there. But
So does it look like the HEC then is gonna go negative,
I,
like we budgeted?
probably not to that extent, but it's probably likely.
Why would we have $60,000 of expenses in the last 2 months?
Well, that's all budget. And we
Yeah.
probably won't, our budget won't look like that actually.
Yeah,
So through the end of this year, it's going to be pretty close to the 154,
oh, okay.
and it may exceed it a little bit.
Oh, I see, because the average, if this is the 10-month, yeah, so
Yeah.
the expenses are averaging 14,000 a month.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much. Yeah. So May will eat up most of that 19, and then
Yeah,
June will.
so then we'll probably be in negative.
But with the performance in the other areas, it'll all wash it out.
Right.
And then if you turn to page 5,
So we were sold on that based on the fact that it would not cost us anything.
yeah, and I think that it's still new. It's
Yeah.
still a new project, and I just met with the interim director,
And who's that?
Megan McGarity,
Oh, okay.
and we met, and talked about it, and I just tell her that, in any business planning, we're in, I think, right around the third, fourth year of AGC. In any business planning, your first 3 years, you're planning on losing money in any modeling of a new business. And so that's how I've looked at it. We are, reaching that 4-year kind of term. So I think with the economy getting better,
Well,
school
we're gonna have a report at the board meeting. I mean, we're going in.
Yes.
To hire a
learning center.
learning center.
Yeah,
So I hope we'll get information on
yeah,
who's here, who should be here.
right. And it's been kind of interesting because, the past few years, higher ed has had budget cuts and things like that. And so
And declining.
everybody's been trying to manage their funding as a best fit. And so with that, and then this new year with the 4% pay increase, folks had to raise tuition at the higher, 4-year schools. So not a lot to go around.
Yeah.
And that's been challenging for us, I think.
And I do see that, I talked with Jerry at graduation, And he talked about the fact that he's now seeing his students go full circle, that they come in with him for criminal justice. And he talks to them about the opportunities at higher education centers. And he now has the first group of his students that are earning master's degrees because they've been straight through. They've gone straight from here as
To
undergraduates to higher education center to Highlands and received their bachelor's and now their master's
Wow,
degrees
that's
in criminal
great.
ed.
Yeah.
So he's really excited that that is
It's
starting to come,
working,
right? Is
yeah.
seeing that he's seeing those students graduate. And the more and more we have of that trend,
Mm-hmm.
right, the more students will.
Yeah, it's taken them a while, I think, the students to just learn about
Right.
that
Oh, I can
opportunity.
do this.
That, and some of my courses from SOCC could count towards, those.
Not
That's right.
some, all of them should be counting
Yeah, so,
with the HED mandate.
right. And so, there's that. I think there's just that kind of, that time that has to go by for people to, learn about it, know that it's out there for them to be able to, basically get on that track to get their 4-year degrees. And so
Okay. Any other high points?
that's it. Plant fund, there's not a lot to report there, and our receivables are right around $1 million, and that's what they consistently kind of,
Who were the outliers? City of Santa Fe. What is that City of Santa Fe grant?
that has to do with, I think, TV, yes.
Oh, right.
It's that TV funding. I'm pretty sure we've made a big, we've gotten a lot of that receivable for SBA and PTAP,
Mm.
and so I'll have that information for you tomorrow.
Okay.
And that's it, I think.
Yeah.
Why is EDA so far behind?
EDA. I'll have to look at that. I'll get that for you tomorrow.
There have been no receivables in 3 months. They're 120 days in arrears.
Yeah, that one we may have received, but I'll have to double check it.
It's EPA, right? Environmental. It's for Whopper training? Is
The
that what we're looking at? I don't see EDA.
Economic Development Administration, that's the grant for, that we're using for like the microgrid, greenhouse
Oh,
type things. And so,
okay. What's the campus bookstore update?
that was,
That's on the page before.
Oh, you were just,
yeah,
you listed it separate.
Leanne wasn't able to be here
Oh,
today, so I'd
right,
like to,
right. So well, she'll come to our board meeting.
That's on this.
Yeah.
it's not on the agenda for the board meeting, so
Oh, okay.
we'll have to reschedule it for June.
But was there some thing special?
No,
Or
I mean,
more-
it's just, we're seeing that the financials for the bookstore
Are
and auxiliary
declining,
are
yeah.
declining
Yeah.
due to, enrollments and less students on campus, and really the model of bookstore is changing. I mean,
Right.
we're competing with Amazon is what it really comes down to. And so Leanne and I have talked, and she has a lot of information that she's thinking about how do we address that competitive situation we're in,
Right.
and do things more with sort of like IT and like online digital textbooks and things like that are available, which will help. I mean, the biggest problem that we have is inventory. That's our biggest cost. She has to make us estimates to determine who out of the students in this class that registered for a particular class who will buy a book from the bookstore.
Mm,
With so many options out there, it's
right.
a heck of a gamble. And so what's been happening is she will buy, with historical information that she has, a certain amount of textbooks. Well, she's saying that
They're not selling.
they're not selling, and actually people are coming in taking pictures of them, of the book,
And trying to find it cheaper.
and finding it online.
Well, how
And
can they be getting it cheaper? I thought a lot of these academic books had,
So-
this is how much you have to sell it for unless you're buying used.
I think they're
I
used
have a
on,
classmate who told me that he has never paid for a book. He's 2 years into a master's degree and he goes to public sources, right?
Yeah.
Library sources, and they're electronic books. So you just get the information that you need. If you need to read chapter 4 and 5, you can find chapter 4 and 5
yes,
online of just about every text so that you don't have to buy the entire book. I thought it was
exactly.
very interesting.
She's experiencing the same thing over here. She'll have people that don't buy books that are
Mhm.
registered in the courses, and that's what they're doing.
Mhm.
They're actually finding that material online
Hmm.
and using it. Now, I wouldn't want to do that, but
Right. I like to underline in those
Mhm.
books,
Yeah.
tag them.
yeah. So she'll brief you all.
I'm old.
She'll brief you all at the June meeting. On that.
Okay, all right.
It's interesting. It's just the nature of
What's happening? now?
textbooks and what's
Yeah.
happening. I mean, Pearson, we met with an individual from Pearson a while back, and Pearson's just totally transformed the whole business model, really.
Now Pearson is, who sells books?
Who sells books or a publisher.
Uh-huh.
And they've totally transformed their whole business model. They're really an IT company now.
But then you still have to buy them, you just buy electronic versions, or you buy them temporarily, however that goes.
Yeah, you rent
Yes.
an ebook.
You rent, yeah.
You buy it
Yeah.
and you set a duration of how long you're gonna have it,
Uh-huh.
and then you can extend the duration, and then you can buy it permanently too.
Mhm.
And then what you do is you get the online version, and then you can print it out.
Yeah,
over here.
right.
You can print out a hard copy if you like
Here.
that. We will have that ability.
Capacity.
Yeah, here. And then you also have some, the colleges engaged at looking at open source books. So just free online
Mhm.
material.
Copyrights have expired.
Exactly. And instructors are looking at that. Steve Martinez has been really involved with doing that. And that will affect our bookstore.
Yeah,
If
so we might have to sell others.
But it also helps our students.
Right,
Right.
right. Yeah,
it does, absolutely.
yeah.
And a lot of the digital offerings are cheaper, much cheaper than,
Well, go to UNM and then they sell everything at the bookstore, not just a few books.
Yeah.
I guess that's how the bookstores are making money.
it's different though at UNM because as Leanne had pointed out to me, at UNM you have a captive audience where when people go there, they're going there for 4 good years, right? Or 2 good years for a master's or PhD. And so you have them for a particular amount of time. At community college, we have non-traditional students. So they come in and then they'll take some classes and then they leave. And so it does affect us differently, where you don't have those same students just, always going to the bookstore consistently every year. So I think that affects it. I think UNM, they know who's going to be there and who's going to be buying their books and things like that. And plus UNM, I think is
Isn't it Barnes and Noble?
yeah,
Yeah, it's not even them.
they've outsourced it. In fact, I think the guy from Pearson said that SFCC and some other higher ed institution were the only 2 that still operate our own bookstore. Everybody else has gone the way of Pearson Pearson, Barnes and Noble, and others that operate those types of things.
Okay, anything else?
Just the next meeting date, Jack, did you want to explain what you got response we're talking about? Moving it to the work session this meeting?
Well, we're talking about whether,
For June?
well, whether we could incorporate the finance information in the work sessions rather than having a separate meeting on Tuesday, primarily because what we used most of the work sessions for before were revising policies, and we're pretty caught up on that. You know, we have one or two coming through each time at the most. So seems like we might be able to fit the finance information into the work session
Okay.
rather than having a separate,
Let's talk about it at the meeting tomorrow.
see what we decide.
And the meeting is the 26th, right?
Which meeting?
The next
June.
board June meeting, the next,
Oh, the June meeting.
yeah.
And we should probably talk, are we going to have a July meeting?
Well, we need to talk about having a retreat in late July or early August with the new president.
Mhm.
So like an all-day thing.
Yeah, I'll be out till July 27th, but I'll be back early August.
Okay, so we'll try to figure that out tomorrow.
Okay,
Okay, great. All right,
All right,
motion to
thank-
adjourn.
So moved.
second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay,
push the button.
what do we do here?
Oh, yeah, we have to.
Bye, everyone.
No hamming in front of the camera.
Yeah, the lights are still on.
I know. End stream. Okay, thank you.